chance after we bear on later in the ball game.
That's what they did in the field all time. This is the entire second half, which has been about 5 minutes. And we'll see because they were bringing a little heavy over here on the sideline before they went back.
Jesus Manuelos is the wide receiver, goes to the left. Just inside him in the slot position is Ray Jimenez. Behind him, Damian Foley is right. Left to right. Rodriguez will throw. He's got Steve set out of the backfield. 45, 40, breaks it, 35, 40. There it is. He hit hard and out of bounds at the West 25-yard line. Boy, that was an excellent play. And Steve said in a hurry had to finally be knocked out of bounds by Stuart Laycock and Fritz Ewell right there.
Great job that time again by the offensive flooded his zone. Sin was right up and turned the corner. Got a great downfield block for about an extra 5 yards. If they keep flooding the zones, they'll always be able to hit the third man out, which is the little running back Sin, because nobody picks him up.
Steve Santa, gain to the 25, Steve Brown.
Jim Q real quickly, we're going to sweep right on this play first in.
They've got a lot of yards to work with. Left to right, from the left hash mark, and there's the sweep that's broken down. Sen got the call again, dropped in the backfield behind the 30, at the 31. Ray Castillo out of Alvin. The grocery man at 62.47 was there to wrap him up. We'll call it a loss of 5, and it'll bring up second down and 15. Todd Johnson comes off the field. He sees Manuelos goes back on, and down to the field is Steve Brown.
Jim Q, we're going to go through left, 80 cross. That's the play we scored the touchdown on in the first quarter.
Second down and 15. 7-6. West is leading East for the football. At the West, just outside the 30-yard line. For the East offense, minus 5 yards rushing, 5 of 8 passing for 128 yards. Ready to throw for the line times. The quarterback Rodriguez over the middle. The pass incomplete. Intended for Damian Charlie of the East down at the 9-yard line. And there's a penalty marker at the 33. Coverage applied by Roger Beers, and that was very close to 6 points.
Looks like a holding call coming up, John.
That was a holding call at the 32-yard line. Rodriguez passing for the 9th time tonight. He looked for Curley, who's been lined up as a wide receiver at times, a tight end at others, and the pass was incomplete. And now the West will send in a defensive change. Going out of the lineup is Tony Isolano. Mike Lithicom of Lamar comes back in. That's Isolano is out of Hanford. 7:44 to go in the third. 7-6. The West is leading.
John, the first time they ran the pick play tonight, where they picked the safety, they worked perfectly. They've not been able to pick him any other time tonight, Steve Brown. Why? One of the things is I believe that the West had a little bit of a defensive mess up in their coverage the first time around. They just kind of switched off back to the free safety and the strong safety, didn't switch off to the right man. They straightened that out since, and they're getting help out of the free safety and the strong safety. They're talking and helping each other more instead of trying to chase somebody across the field. I think the East team's got a screen pass on the right side set up for this play.
25 yards and penalties now for the East. That's 3 penalties on the night, and they've got quite a ways to go, Steve Brown. It is 2nd and 32, and it looks like Norm Warren, the linesman, is getting an earful from the East coaching staff, and now Norm will head back out onto the field. All right, obviously a passing situation at 2nd and 32. Dropping to throw is Rodriguez. Dumps it for Flores. He will throw it again. There's the play with Paul Johnson. Is open at the 17. Robinson cannot hold it at the 17. Johnson went up. And defensively, Scott Wood was with him, along with one of the defensive backs. And it looked like Beavers might have been there. Yep, Beavers and Scott Wood at the 17 were with him on a double pass. It was a case where Rodriguez just dumped it out to the near side, and the pass was incomplete to Todd Johnson. Let's go to Jim Critchlow.
The reason that pass was not complete is Johnson jumped to the scene. He jumped before the ball was there. It was still about 2 yards away from him when he went up and had him able Beavers to time his jump perfectly and tipped the ball away. That would have been a great play to defend about 5 yards short, but we've been in field goal position anyway for Rodriguez.
7:33 left to go in the third quarter. 7-6, the West is leading. There's a timeout on the field. Third down. And 32 for the East. So when we return, Leo Robinson's club has a long way to go, and they're trailing by 1.
We'll be back after this 60-second timeout. 60 seconds. 60.
Gonna make it with no trouble.
They can make a game out of it if they put those penalties.
I know.
Hi, Mike. How are you? Good to see you. believe that.
Especially Norm. John Pittman, Monty Moores, Jim Critchlow, Steve Brown, and Dennis Whitman back at Mineral King Bowl in Visalia. 7:33 left to go in the third quarter. 7-6 West. If you're joining us late very quickly, let's tell you the West got on the scoreboard and a 48-yard pass play from Ruben Rodriguez to Jesus Panuelos midway through the first quarter. And then it was a 7-point play. Jim Dodds catching and Matt Jones passed to it late clock with the extra point. Steve Brown.
Coach Rouse, what do we got called? Oh, we have a sand ball, a flat pass, and milk here.
We'll see if it will work. Ruben Rodriguez looking for the middle of the football field on 3rd and 32. Lobs it up, and the pass incomplete. Penalty marker down. Interference coming up. Reyes Jimenez, one of the intended receivers, along with Steve Sand. Sand out of Golden West. And the other wide receiver, Jimenez, out of Woodlake. But a penalty marker down at the 33-yard line.
Interesting play, John. They had the wide receiver that time going down the field blocking one of the defenders, and we've got a holding call coming up. That was one of the defenders holding that blocker. And Sam did. He ran behind that blocker down the corner. Steve Brown is right there.
When I got to talk to Nolan Warren, it's defensive holding number 21, I think he said.
Was he holding Steve on Jimenez? It kind of looked like it.
Yeah, it looked like it. That's what the call was made for.
And what happened, Sam fell down on the play, too, John. He was, just as he cut up the field and got behind the defender, Sam fell down.
Both Jimenez and Sam fell down, so it is defensive holding. And they will mark it from the 47 all the way down to the 32. And at that spot, East will be short of the first down, but quite obviously they'll be in better position. 45 yards and penalties on the night for the West. And tonight's game brought to you by the good people at Village 1 Hour Cleaners. Village 1 Hour Cleaning Center in Visalia and Exeter specializes in drapery cleaning. You can have your old drapes look like new with an expert job done by the professionals at Village 1 Hour Cleaning Center. 2615 South Woody Boulevard in Visalia and 200 East Maple in Exeter. Glad to have those people with us. 17th annual July Kings County All-Star Football Game. It is a 7-6 West, leading the East, but the East has the football at the West 32-yard line. Okay, let's tell you what's happening. Coming out at center is Dave Lewis. He will handle the snap. The quarterback is Ruben Rodriguez out of Woodlake. Wide receiver is Reyes Jimenez to the right side or Jimenez, whichever you prefer. Rodriguez will drop the throw from the 41. Throws it up for grabs. Ball is going to be batted around him, dropped and almost intercepted. Roger Beavers had an opportunity near the goal line to collect that one. He had it in his fingertips on the play, and now it brings up 4th down.
That was a real mix-up, John. Rodriguez threw the ball deep, and his receiver had gone down and out, shallow as a matter of fact. So it definitely was a mix-up on that play.
Steve Brown.
They're flying deep, so you curl in there.
Okay, you hear what's going on. We're going to try to go for it on this 4th down. We're going to try to curl somebody back underneath. Coach, what do we want?
It's that same cross pass we scored on when we jumped over up on the fourth in the middle.
Open, so here we go.
Quickly, defense, what do you expect?
Well, it's just what I'm looking forward to do. They're going to keep people deep, and that's what they try to do is curl up in front. Last time they didn't work.
All right, the receiver that went into the game was Jesus Panuelos. He has a 48-yard TD reception, dropping to throws. Rodriguez over the middle, and the pass is going to be batted down incomplete at the 10-yard line. And that was the case where Rodriguez was looking for Jesus Panuelos. The crowd wanted interference. Damian Turley was let down with Panuelos, the man behind him, and he was back knocked down.
John, that play worked perfectly. They just overthrew the ball. Number 81 went down and curled in. He was wide open when he made his turn. Rodriguez threw the ball over him to the deep man. Here's Steve Brown.
I'm listening to Coach Robinson. He's really limited. It looked like pass interference from our vantage point. I don't know what you guys have.
Well, kind of hard to tell.
Jim Critchlow,
no pass interference at all. Roger Beavers went right over the top and got the ball before it got to the offensive receiver. Great play by Beavers.
Sounds like Roy Vidal and Bill Buckley. 7-12 to go in the third quarter. 7-6 West, the West with the football. After the East turns it over, following the incomplete pass. Matt Jones is at quarterback. Has his back split. Leon Shavers is one of them. Born out of the backfield. Warns the intended receiver. Looks for a pass at the 45. He's got it at the 43 in East territory. Oh, Alvin Horn out of Hanford. Could he fly Monty Moore? Jesus Panuelos is there. Jim Critchlow.
Great pass that time by Matt Jones. He hit him on the fly down the sideline. The ball had been laid out about another 3 yards. That would have been a touchdown all the way because Horn had everybody beat. The defensive back just turned right away, and he was chasing him. He wasn't going to catch him, but the ball was too short and gave him time to recover.
15th first down of the game for the West. 160 yards in passing from Matt Jones, who comes out and is at the controls. He on the night now is 13 and 18. Boy, is he catcher, and tonight he is throwing perfect spirals. Backs are split. Handoff. Goes to Shaver. 40. Breaks it. 35. 33. 40. 29-yard line. Leon Shaver out of Tualatin Union. On a first down and 10 play, he'll spin for about 13 before Todd Johnson, the free safety, can come up and power to bring him to the turn for the 29-yard line.
Good open field tackle that time. He's gone if Todd Johnson doesn't get him.
6:57 to go in the third quarter. Jim Critchlow on the west sideline.
The big offensive line had a great hole open at the point of that attack, and he only got 2 arms on him as he broke through the line of scrimmage.
Matt Jones comes out of quarterback, first down and 10. On the last play, Leon Shaver with a big gain. Handoff goes to Alvin Horn. Breaks 2 tackles, scoots down to the 25, inside the 25-24-yard line before he is wrapped up by the East defense. And it is Adam Bryant who was there along with Tommy Kell. 26-56. Boy, the number 6 rolling up. And Jim downstairs, the West has been rolling up the offense tonight. I would think at this stage leading 7-6 might try to keep it on the ground with Shavers and Horns.
Good night, John, but I just talked to Mike Hinson before I hit it down to the end zone here. He wants to open this thing up a little bit. He knows he can grind it, but if he can get him out in the air, then the running game is going to be a little more effective in the fourth quarter.
Alvin Horn, 8 carries, 35 yards, 67 yards for Leon Shavers in 7 carries. They're the running backs in the backfield. And here's Jones looking for the option pitch. Instead, he has to keep the football and eat it. At the 25-yard line, may have been spun down at the 26. A whole host of defensive players were in there, but the guy who led the way was Brian Sneed. So they're putting Sneed in now on the defensive side. He was expected to play only the offense tonight. It'll bring him third down and 7. Checking into the ball game at the tight end position is Aaron Foote. So Aaron Foote will come in from Lenore. He's a bright young man, Monty Moore. He's going to the University of California at Davis come this fall. And our statistician is doing a good job tonight, Bruce Moore. Heads back to the University of Oklahoma on Wednesday. We're going to miss him. In the backfield for the West on third down and 7. At the 27-yard line of the East is Leon Shaver and Alvin Horn. Horn is left. Shaver is right. Jones sends a wide receiver left, one right. Tight end will go out. Foote, they're looking for Foote. And the pass is going to be short by 5 yards. Take a hop and the ball. Foote will catch it. But it'll be ruled an incomplete pass. And now we've got 4th and 7.
Well, he had all day to throw, John. That offensive line was giving him all the time. That's a big difference in this ball game, I think, as far as the 2 quarterbacks. All night long, Jones has had quite a bit of time to throw, whereas on the other side, Rodriguez and Mendonca have not really had all that much time to set up and throw, even though in that last drive for the East, Rodriguez had some guys open that he didn't hit.
Checking out of the game for the West, Sean Lopez, the left tackle. So he will come out and will be replaced by Mike McKenzie out of Corcoran. He'll be attending the College of Sequoias. 4th down and 7. 5:08 to go in the third quarter. 7-6. The West is leading, and the West with the football. The trio of wide receivers left. Dodds, Allen Floyd, and Alvin Horn. Low running back is Shaver. He sets to blunt. And there's Horn at the 5, wide open. The pass is complete. Touchdown. However, we've got a penalty marker down at the 31-yard line.
They have a holding. It's thrown by the line from right behind the line of scrimmage, and that oftentimes is holding territory.
It could well be holding, but Alvin Horn, the inside of 3 receivers on the left side of Meredith, holding against the West. Jim Critchlow, Horn was wide open. It was almost like a slant route over the middle, and he caught the ball for 5 and went in with the 3 it back.
He was wide open, John. We were standing down here just before that. I looked for one thing that time because they sent in Big Scott Cunningham. He broke open right over the middle, held his hands up, and he was open for the first down, and everybody filled thinking the ball was going there. Alvin Horn came right in behind him, kept going. They picked him up. It looked like a beautiful basketball screen, and Horn was wide open. There was Johnson was 5 yards behind him. It was a touchdown, but as you say, to no avail. Now it's 4th and very long. They'll have to punt the ball, go for a corner kick here on one of the sidelines.
In the turnover department tonight, 3 for the West, just 1 for the East. However, in the penalty department now, for the West team, they have 50 yards in penalties on the night, and there have been 4 flags thrown in their direction. I guess it is now the turn of the East defense to spend a lot of time on the football field. 5:02 left to go in the third. 7-6, the West has it. And now Wayne Ross of Tulare Union will be forced to punt. Following that 15-yard holding penalty, it is now 4th and 27. High snap to Ross. He fakes. He throws it to Horn. He's got a roll of blockers at the 45-40. He's outside the 30. He's still at the 25. He cuts up to the center of the field. He's to the 20. Still out of feet. 15 to the 10. He's down to the 5. Oh, what a 5-yard line, and it is first down and goal, Steve Brown.
John, these coaches are over here just before the fake punt and screen pass to Alvin Horn. They're yelling, watch the screen, watch the fake, watch the fake. So it looks like the defensive team is getting a little tired of it. They're starting to wear them down. They're starting to make many mistakes, and that's what killed them on that play.
16th first down for the West, and that was a very big play. No question about it. And now the West has it, working from the far hash mark at the 5. Running backs in the backfield. And it looked like Shaver bursting over through the middle. Touchdown! Leon Shaver is able to burst right up the middle. And from 5 yards out, scores 6 points. And the West now leading 13-6. Jim, you're on the other side.
Right here in the end zone, John. I think you and I could run through that thing as old as we are. What a hole there. There was nobody involved. He got him up his shoulder, scored the line of scrimmage, and almost touchdown the minute he hit the line.
Leon Shaver's now on the line with the score coming at the 4:35 mark of the third quarter from 5 yards out. Shavers has 72 yards and 8 carries. Stuart Laycock, who was perfect on extra points, 1 of 1. We'll look to make it 2 of 2. Bad snap, but the hold is down. The kick is up. The kick is perfect. Matt Jones did a very good job spotting the ball that time. 4:35 to go in the third. 14-6. The West leading the East, and we'll be back in a moment.
Give her 60. Oh, that was a big play that point.
Annual Sonora Case County All-Star football game. The West has just scored at the 4:35 mark. A 5-yard touchdown run by Leon Shaver. Steve Brown on the east sideline.
If we can get a good clean kill by our quarterback back there, we're going to put the ball.
Stuart Laycock delivers it, and it is picked up by David Turley. Woodlake at the 10. He's out across the 20. And boy, is he out 24 by Scott Woodbine. Let's go over and listen to the guy who hit the touchdown.
It's not a win and south of pitching a great speed pass, great individual efforts to put from your teammates. Yeah, I was with the field. I was in about around. My teammates was there. Everything came together for us, and I saw where the green was going, so I cut back disagree, and it was still off. My lineman did a good job blocking that field, and so I was able to cut back so it was so good against the green. Great job, John. We'll see you parking the shoot. A couple seconds.
That guy's going to be a space major, I got a feeling, in college, Bonnie.
Every said whenever they came together, it's like the old boy in the A-team said, I love it when the plan comes together.
All right, on the first play of the scrimmage, in the backfield, Lance Jimenez was able to carry it out for 5 yards to the 30-yard line. It is now 2nd and 5 at the 4-minute mark. Ruben Rodriguez sets up. He looks good. He's got a receiver set. He's got number 45, 20, 15, 75 yards. Steve Sam with the silence in the background. Boy, the East has to be saying hallelujah. 75-yard pass play. Ruben Rodriguez with a marvelous pass, Steve Brown.
Well, John, all Coach Robinson's looking for is a little offensive line blocking. They got it. Rodriguez put the ball up, and it was just a great play. They've been trying to put that thing together up the sidelines for the last 2 or 3 series, but weren't able to do it because the offensive line just hasn't been blocking. That time, the guys gave them lots of time, and they got on the scoreboard. They're right back in this ball game.
We'll have to refigure that out. It was from the 30, so it'll go 70 yards on the pass play, not the 75, as we said. Nonetheless, Rodriguez is able to come up with a 6th completion and 11 tries for 198 yards, 70-yard pass play, and it comes at the play 51 mark, so the East strikes back in a hurry. They'll now go for 2 points. Rodriguez will come out. His lone running back will be Reyes Jimenez Teague. It's only yours. Rodriguez long count. Looking to tie it, and there's a bad snap. Rodriguez cannot handle it, and the two-point conversion attempt will fail. However, a 70-yard pass play is a dandy, as Rodriguez is able to find Steve Sand with 3:51 left in the third. The East gets back in it, trailing the West 14-12.
Go 60. Put that baby right there. Huh? Yeah. That Sands? No, Van Bayless fought the first one, yeah. Yeah, this, how many passes has that one kid Jones completed today? Jones is, 13 and 19. Okay, he's only, Jones is about one pass short of the all-time record in this game, John. Number of passes. I think he's only about 215. Doesn't say.
3 minutes, 51 seconds left to go. Longest pass play, Monty Moore. Came back in the 1982 game, beat Adam Redwood, an 84 pass from Bobby Burns of Porterville. So that's short of the record. It is an onside kick. He's looking to recover. However, the white jersey is there to handle it at the 44-yard line. And downstairs, Steve Sand, who caught the 70-yard touchdown pass with Steve Brown.
Jake Hill standing here with Mr. Steve Sand. Steve, you're on the receiving end of that 70-yard pass play, the second longest in the history of the game. What was the play call, and what was the cover? For this. No little offense, it's just a straight down the right side. So, you have to then go, baby, and hang on when it gets there. That's right. All right. Good job.
All right. Good job indeed. Steve Sand on a Golden West 70-yard touchdown reception, and that's just shy of a record. The longest pass catch. Tony Salado was able to recover the onside kick at the West 44-yard line. At quarterback Matt Jones hands off to Leon Shavers, and the guy from Redskin Country, Tulare Union, marches it out to the 49-yard line. We'll call it a gain of 5. It'll bring up second down and 5. Getting up off the pile, the guy in blue, Don Morell out of Lindsay. He's done a pretty good job tonight, Steve Brown, from the little school of Lindsay.
You betcha. Number 7, Don Morell, he's done a great job out there. There's a couple of kids that are getting pretty tired. They're going to give him a break right now, trying to give him a breather, but they're doing a good job. They really are.
Passing department tonight, 19. Let's see, we'll check the pass completions. I think Matt Jones is just too shy. Yep, he sure is, of tying the record set by Mark Palmaker of Little Lake in the 75 game. Jones, play action fake, and it's complete to Cunningham of Union. At the tight end at the 42, he's inside the 40, and down to the 36-yard line. They have advanced to the 35. So it'll be a first down for the West. And Marty, that is the fourth completion for Matt Jones. He was the All-Northern California quarterback with 25 TDs in 1982. Todd Johnson was there defensively to wrap up Cunningham as a pretty big tight end at 6'4 and 210.
And he definitely had Todd Johnson outmatched and oversized there. He is one man short of tying the all-time record for number 30 in this All-Star game.
First down and 10 with the clock moving, 2:29 to go. Jones works and hands off to Alvin Horn. He's trapped in the backfield. A couple of blue jersey guys are there to take him down. Rick Bavarian, who will attempt COS, is there for sure. And he also got some help from Adam Bryant, the outside linebacker on the strong side. Adam is out of Mount Whitney High School. Jim Critchlow standing on the other side.
So anytime they want to go to that tight end look and pass they can, nobody is touching either tight end. Scott Cunningham, the big tall kid, is wide open as he comes out into the secondary, and they can go to that all night long for as long as they want to throw it.
1 minute, 57 seconds left to go in the third. 14-12. The West of Mike Henser with the football and the lead. 14-12. Number 12, Matt Jones, working from the far hash mark. Right to left, quick looking pass. Alan Flores of Hanford has it. 25. He's inside the 20. 15. He's down to the 11-yard line. Alan Flores, the flanker, is able to handle it before Brad Lansdale finally corners him at the 11. And there's another clear case in point when you've got a quarterback, a good quality athlete in Flores. He's able to do a lot for you when he catches that very big pass.
Absolutely. And again, nobody touched him. He was into the secondary 5, 6, 7 steps before he was even met by a defender.
That completion by Jones now ties him with Mark Palmater of Woodlake. with 15 completions. That is a Illinois Kings County All-Star record. He has 201 yards. There's a handoff to Alvin Horn following the first down. On the first down and 10 play, and Horn is trapped in the backfield and spun down at about the 12. Plenty of white jerseys there, along with Russ Cox out of Strathmore, who's had a very good ball game tonight. 1:18 to go. You're listening to KIOO Porterville. We're certainly glad to have you with us. Total offense, apparently that is a new record. Yep. 215 would be the record in the Illinois Kings County All-Star game, which means that Jones is just 14 yards shy of tying that record and 15 of breaking it. It is second down and 11. And dropping to Paulus Jones under heavy pressure in the pursuit. And they were moving from the outside by Linsedell, who was right there to drop him all the way back at the 20-yard line. So I'm looking at stats and figures in the game, and they've set some people right out there, didn't they, Steve Brown? Shot him from the outside.
Yeah, the defensive people or coaches on the sideline on the inside are really scrambling to hold the tight end up. Don't let the receivers off free. Jimmy Kershaw's exactly right. They can throw anything they want and quit because nobody's holding anybody up.
Third and 19, 25 seconds left to go in the third quarter. The West with the football. Bob Brewer is out at center. Wide receiver to the left side. Looks like Gabe Vasquez is in there. The backs are split. Jones is the quarterback. They have Leon Shaver and let's see, Alvin Horn. Dropping to Paul Jones. Sets up at the 32. Looks for the screen to Horn. He's hit. After catching it, he fumbles. The ball is picked up by the east at the 25 and out to the 28-yard line. There to come up with a very big fumble recovery. Mike Hill out of Porterville. It looked like Hill out of Porterville. We'll double check. Steve Brown.
Okay, I got the two guys who just made that play. Godway got in the ball game. Coach Robinson said, hey, this guy's a defensive player. You know, on 3 plays, you know, all 3 of them. They can make a good hit on the screen pass, and this guy comes on and picks the ball. Mike Hill. What was the defensive call, guys? Nickel defense. Nickel defense, but you stay home reminded of who did that's right. Mike Hill with the big play, huh?
All right. Well, that was a hit right there, and Belanga, of course, is famous for that over in Monache. I'd like to remind you, you're listening to K100 Radio, 99.7 FM, and it's located in Porterville, but serving the entire valley with million-dollar sound and music all day, every day. We've got an injured player out on the field. I might ask Jim Critchlow to get out there and find out what it is, how badly he is. Jim, move on the far side.
He's just got a cramp. That's all the wound. He took the hit, and it's just a cramp. I think that he got to a little bit. He did have a bruise on the outside of his right leg earlier, and that's all it is. I just talked to Mike Hinson, so it's no big deal.
Is it really hot down there, Fritz?
There's only a breath of air, John. There's no breeze at all, and it's not really hot, but these kids are out there running around in fully padded uniforms, and it gets hot for them. I'd say temperature down here is maybe in the low 80s.
Look at the flag.
Yeah, it looks like I am blue.
Ball's water getting moving, why not?
John, that was a tremendous defensive stand, and it could be the impetus which puts this Eastern team back in business. They really did a great job covering that screenplay.
2 seconds left to go in the third quarter. Alvin Horn is up and being assisted to the sideline. He's quite a player, buddy. Alvin Horn on the night. When you look at the figures on him, they're incredible. And now the final 2 ticks of the clock will roll off. The third quarter comes to an end. And with the score, the West team of Mike Henson, 14. The East team of Leo Robinson, 12. With the 17th end of the Illinois Kings County All-Star game. For moment.
Okay, he's going to have this record also. Looks like he's going to have that record also.
Yeah, Rob Adolph, quarterback at USC.
Huh?
Quarterback from at USC, he was. Former quarterback. We getting all these dropped in
1970, that's a 13-year-old record.
Yeah. Back Richard Middle King bowling by Sylvia. First down and 10 for the East at their own 29-yard line. And the East, with a first straight up the middle, looked like Steve Sin carried out to the 29-yard line. And hustling into the ball game comes Kurt Thompson on offense, Steve Brown.
Just when the ball game, Kurt Williams the message to Chris Mendonca that we're going to run a 70 sideline.
Chris Mendonca, the star out of Mount Whitney High School on his way to Fresno State, will now come in and take controls of the East offense. Wide receiver Todd Johnson to the left side. Backs are strolling left. It is Sand in the backfield with Thompson. Pass is intended for Johnson of the East at the 42-yard line, and he is overthrown and it falls incomplete. Roger Beavers was over there working the defensive secondary along with Mark McCaleb. McCaleb out of Avenel will attend West Hills High School. Roger Beavers, of course, is on his way to Porterville College, will play for Steve Peck. Third down and 10.
John, it's tough to be on that bench for a whole quarter as Mendonca has been. Come out there and have to start throwing that ball like that. He had a man open that time and just threw the ball a little bit behind him and a little bit tall, but maybe he'll get to throw long enough there to get really good and warm, and when he gets warm, he can definitely throw the football.
Kirk McGowan comes out of the game. Apparently, Kurt Wilson to replace him at one tackle spot. Maxwell unbalanced, a strong left, ready to throw Mendonca. He's got a receiver by Lewis at the East 42-yard line. And on a third down and 10 play, that should be enough. It is enough for the first down. Jim Pitzel on the far sideline, following that first down. With another 15 to go in the game, the West leading 14-12. The West defensive strategy here.
Okay, what I was going to bring in, John, is the point of running. It was very difficult to come off the bench after a quarter, and especially to throw the far across the field sideline pattern. And he overthrew him. This time he comes back and knows his man right on the numbers. They're going to have to get a pass rush on Mendonca. Kurt Thompson and coming to block now for the East team.
In the defensive secondary, Dodge, Beavers, and Ross. Mendonca first and 10, ready to throw. He's got Damian Tully over like a play to the 30. He's to the 30. He's to the 25. He's to the 30. Touchdown.
58 yards.
Damian Tully was able to catch the pass, and I think he got banged up a little bit, Marty, when he caught that ball. It covers the 58 yards, but it's enough for 6.
Jim Critchlow had just mentioned that Kurt Thompson stayed in the ball game to help block. There was a man just almost got Mendonca, and Kurt Thompson just slid off to his right and knocked the guy totally down and allowed Mendonca to throw. And Steve Brown, I don't know, it looked to me as if Mendonca was not going to throw to the man he threw to when he first looked, but he's got that kind of adjustment. Now, whether it's an injury, Spike, here's Jim Critchlow first.
Okay, buddy, we're going to a great catch over here. It was intended and looked like for Steve Sin, who was short. But all of a sudden, we have a good leg receiver, and he's got cramps on his leg. It was a great catch. He got a good block after Sin got away. Touchdown, super play. I don't think the pass was really intended for him. I think you're right. It was intended for Steve Sin.
Steve Brown,
Absolutely correct. He overthrew Sin. But you never know. I'll have to get to the Chris and Brown, who he was aiming the ball at. But they were both in the same area. Turley came up with a great catch, but whether Chris comes off the field, we'll get ready to find out who he was throwing to.
The scoreboard is only reading 16-14, and it should actually read 18-14. And I don't think they're going to count money one way or the other. Who catches the ball?
Once he caught it, he was gone, too. He had to shake off the tackle. But I think what was incredible about it is if he were not throwing that man or looking at him, he at least threw to him, and he had to do it sort of on a side. Now, coming off the field right now, Steve Brown's got, I believe, the guy who caught the pass.
What was the call? Who was intended to see anything? He was throwing to you. Very good read. He finally got some time. What happened? Did you get cramped? Yeah. That was it? Okay, you're okay. Ready to go. Well, they were tough over here, but we're ready to go. I'll see you, John.
Mendonca throwing to Brad Johnson in the end zone for 2 complete. But a penalty marker is down. A penalty marker is down in the end zone.
Good. It'll be good, though. It was pass interference, John.
Well, we'll wait and see. They say pass interference down on the sideline. The East is coming back. Apparently, the 2-point conversion is good. And now the referee, Gene Simmons, will give the indication. Gentlemen, are you right? Apparently so. The 2-point conversion pass from Mendonca is good. There it is. You're right.
What a pass. I tell you, he had to stand there and look and wait for the man to get wide open. He finally did.
And he found him maybe a foot from the end line. 10:50 to go in the game. The 2-point conversion good. The East regains the lead over the West 20-14 downstairs to Steve Brown and Chris Mendonca.
Chris, on the touchdown pass, Curly was he the intended receiver? What was the play? There was a strong flat right, 82 Coleman, and he was primary receiver. Okay, and he's okay. He just came up with some cramps. They're going to get those out. What about the 2-point conversion? 2 points, we win fake a sweep right, and we went 19 foot late pass. And if you fake, in fact, this kind of record, just freezing long enough to get in there, right? Yeah. You're doing a great job. You're hot enough. You can't see it. Thank you. Okay, JQ.
In the passing department, Mendoza 4 of 8 for 97 yards on the night. Mendoza and Rodriguez 10 of 19, 295, and 6 of 11 for 198 yards for Rodriguez. That's a pretty good job, isn't it, Steve Brown? And downstairs has Mike Hill with his arm on. Buddy, I thought it was also significant to note here now, as a penalty will be marked on for the interference. The initial point, apparently, following the conversion. Yep, there it is. So they mark off the interference from the 40 all the way down to the 45-yard line, and at that point, the East will kick off. Let's go down to Steve Brown.
Okay, one of the signs of the right shoulder, the co-captains are on the defense is really good, right? You guys are clear. Do you have enough to go in? You got 250 left. Oh, yeah. Okay, what do you think they're going to do? They're going to do the football. Yeah. They're hurting you with the penalty. What are you going to do? Take that away. And you're slow enough. Can you get somebody over there? We're heading now, but it's just, they can. I don't know, but there is a big mismatch out there. Okay. All right, back up to you, JQ.
15-yard penalty for pass interference is marked off from the initial kickoff point of the East 40 all the way down to the West 45-yard line, Jim Critchlow.
Okay, what's the onside here? Well, they did. I thought that with the ball on that yard line, an onside kick there would have been a great call. Now we have it on the 20. We've only given up 10 yards if they'd have missed the onside kick, John.
That's why you're coaching softball.
Yeah, right. That's why I'm doing this.
Holy cow. The redhead on the sideline. The west sideline, Jim Critchlow. And boy, his wife and 2 lovely daughters having to put up with these Saturday and Friday night football games. We're having fun. Let's go down to another guy with a talented family, Steve Brown.
Okay, with Coach Lou Robinson, who are you thinking onside, which I can see it. Yeah, with field position there, we're going to go ahead and onside, but they stack so much that Lansdale just went ahead and kicked the games. That's it. Smart play. Okay, back up to you, JQ.
All right, the West will come out. Have a first down and 10 at the 20-yard line. And now we have a momentary timeout. Chris, what do we have? We'll find out. Jim Critchlow on another ball.
Game ball. It must be wet. Somebody let the air out of it. To the East, it looks like the East is trying to let the air out of it. Let me tell you, one more turnover, that could let the air out of it.
Terrible statistics tonight when you think about it. Just absolutely incredible that the West dominated early, led 7-6 at halftime, came out and took advantage and scored another touchdown to lead 14-6, but the East has bounced back for 2 quick scores, and with 10:50 to go in the game, it is now 20-14 East. So for the moment, Leo Robinson and company smiling, Mike Henson and his West team frowning, but the West has the football. They quarterback Jones, he'll pitch. He goes to Shaver. Shaver cuts back across the 20-25 out to the 26-yard line before he's finally brought down by Reyes Jimenez. And also, we might have had a fumble, and I think we did. Yep, we sure did, and the East got it.
Rensedale made another fine hit. Rensedale, the number 68, made a tough hit right at the line of scrimmage to knock the ball loose.
68 on the East defense is Guy Belengue.
Well, that's 2 big plays he's made since he's been in there today.
Boy, the way Shaver was reacting, Steve Brown, I think he thought he had the football that might have been going dead.
No, I couldn't tell that from the sidelines, but they put Guy Belengue in front of him. I told Guy to go out and eat him up. 2 big plays, 2 big hits. Guy, how's it feel?
Pretty good. Guy Belengue out of Wenatchee High School. The quarterback, Mondaka. East has it leading 2014. Mondaka to throw. He's got Johnson incompleted for West 5. He had defenders all around him, including Roger Beavers in the front, Scott Wood behind him, and it'll bring up 2nd down and 10 for the East of the 25-yard line. Steve, go ahead.
John Quinn's been saying all night long that we're an exceptional ball game. You've been in there with the big guys on the line, and you're holding on pretty good. The one has been the toughest thing so far. You just made a big recovery. And the running plays were that hurt you?
Yeah, they're really a lot bigger than kind of things to take them on. Now it's starting to slide in the cats. Play a more quick defense to head on.
Okay, Jake, you back to you.
10:21 to go on the game. On 2nd and 10 from the 25, Mendoza to throw, and the pass is incomplete at the 20-yard line, intended for Kirsten Lamb out of Exeter. They shot Lamb back into the right flat, and the pass bounced around and incomplete. And defensively, for the West was Wayne Wallace. Jim Critchlow, you're on the far sideline. What's the attitude over there with the West down by 6?
Well, I'll tell you what, John, I was walking by Mike Henson just before the East scored a minute ago. For was 14-12, and he said, this game shouldn't even be close. And he's starting to get very concerned. The defense for the East is playing very fired-up football, and they put it in now, and this game could be over.
On the 25-yard line of the West, the East with the football. 3rd down and 10. Wide receiver left Johnson. He's the intended receiver. He turns outside. Pass is caught at the 14-yard line of the West. And that will be very, very close to a first down. It should be enough for a first down.
Yep, John, it's a first down fix here. But I'll tell you one thing you got to start thinking about right here. A field goal would be awfully big, and if they keep throwing that football here, it's going to surprise me because they've got a guy who could kick a field goal from there almost blindfolded.
Hey, Steve Brown downstairs on the east side. Quick turnout, and Johnson made a spectacular catch.
Well, super catch by Johnson. He went down, and I think that, Chris could have got the ball a little, but there weren't so many places we could throw that one, and Johnson got his hands on it and held on.
The East looking for breathing room. 9:55 to go. Mendonca first down and 10 from the 14. Handoff straight ahead, Kurt Thompson. Out of Wenatchee High School in a blue and gold. Wrapped up by Scott Wood. So it is Scott Wood. Had an excellent ball game tonight. Jim Critchlow at inside linebacker position. Has Scotty out of Hanford, hasn't he?
He really has, and so has Big George Axman, the big 260-pound nose guard. He's really been plugging up the middle. That play may have been used for one thing, to set up the fake dive and hit the tight end or a wide-out receiver on the sideline for 6 points.
Not interesting to note that's only the second run of the second half used by the East offense. Mendonca comes out. He sends 2 wide receivers to the right side. And up in front is Kurt Thompson. Behind him, Reyes Jimenez. Rolling right is Mendonca. Now three versus field. Heavy rush. Breaks out of traffic at the 25. 20. Still out of Davies in the 15 and the 10. He dives forward to the 7-yard line. Oh, Mendonca. He's got that Jim Sweeney attitude for Fresno State already. It was intense. Just rolled to the 15 and then go forward to the 7. He's got a little bulldog in him.
Boy, that was just an individual effort right there. He was all but down back there and just started looking for holes and made it. Jim Critchlow was looking right at him.
Well, he really was. There was nobody to throw from. He took the ball and put a good move on the defensive end, went around him, and then he just skipped it all the way down to the 7th. Great game. Brings up 3rd and short. You're right there in field goal position. And I know they want 7 more than they want 3 right now.
3rd and 3 from the 7-yard line, and you're right. They do have a strong leg at Ruben Rodriguez. Steve Brown quickly on the east sideline.
18 good-leg roll-out.
Thompson is in the backfield. Joined by Jimenez. Steve Sand is the wing left. There's Mendonca play action. Rolling right. He's to the 5. Can he cut in? I think he got to the 1. Yes, he did. He got to the 1-yard line. It looked like he might have been able to turn the corner, Steve Brown, and go into the end zone. But he was finally ridden off, and I think Roger Beavers might have been the guy over there. But Iron Sneed had an excellent block. Critchlow had a good look.
Well, he was Roger Beavers, but still Laycock made the first one. I think that time had Mendonca squared his shoulders and taken a dive toward the goal line instead of toward the sideline. He'd have been in for 6. He's on about it's just inside. They got about 2 feet to go, John. Standing right here.
What's he's going to do, Steve Brown?
Open right, 35 lead. That's, they're going to give it to the fullback, Thompson.
Thompson will set himself at the 4.5-yard line, and there he goes, looking left side, and that play didn't work. That 35 open lead. Thompson stopped at the 2-yard line. Maybe they should look for a 36 open lead on the next play, Steve. Thompson stopped at the 2-yard line. Ray Castillo, how'd you like to get hit by this guy? 247-60 out of Avenal. He's on his way to Porterville College, Monty.
Well, that's a big defensive play. He just got down a little bit.
7:48 to go in the ball game. 20-14, the East is leading. Steve Brown on the east sideline.
Play call, fake, 30 smash, left in and out.
2nd down and goal. From the 2. Mendonca turns, spins, handoff. He will not interrupt. Mendonca keeps it to the 5, dives to the 1, and a roll of white jerseys there to stop him. On 2nd and goal from the 2, Scott Wood was there. He got a lot of help, however, from a lot of other people. It was Gabriel Vasquez who was there to put his head down along with Wayne Ross. And the West defense, Chris, I think here, without a doubt, has to put up that wall because there's only 7:09 to go in the game.
John, right now, if I was calling the play, I'd just call quarterback sneak. I know there's a lot of big folks here, but you only have a foot and a half to go, and I think they can wedge a quarterback sneak in that way.
Let's go to Steve Brown.
Okay, we're going to come up the line scrimmage. We're on a 70 slant in.
All right, a 70 slant in, ball inside the 1-yard line. 3rd and goal from that spot. 6:46 to go in the game. 2014 East. There's Mendonca. Play action, fake throws. And is it intercepted by the West? Oh, my. Coming up with a very big interception. Roy Castillo out of Avenal with an interception had been tipped. And let's go to Jim Critchlow.
John, I really question that call. They only had a foot and a half to go, and they've been covering so very well on that little slant pass the West has. I really have to question that call. Great job, though. Defensive lineman, 260-pounder, jumps up about 5 feet and picks it off.
Second turnover of the night. And the West has 5. And now the West with its back to the wall. Jones comes out at quarterback. His backs are split. Leon Shavers takes the handoff of the frame, marches out to about the 7-yard line before he's getting tackled by blue East jerseys. And the play is inside them. 6:14 to go in the game. 20-14. The East is leading. East looking for its first victory since 81. When Kevin Tilley kicked a 22-yard field goal in the fourth and final quarter to win that game 3-0. Downstairs, Steve Brown manning the sideline on the eastern side for the East team. Jim Critchlow with Donnie Moore waving the flag on the far sideline. And now the West will come out, down by 6 with 5:49 to go. Second down and 9 from the 6-yard line. Jones hands off to Alvin Floyd. And Horn, who was shaken up with a Charlie Bush, is on the right and back in the game of the running back. And he marches his way out to the 11. Critch apparently is okay now.
Question that call, and any coach would. You have a foot and a half and it's third down. If you don't make it with a run, you still have the field goal, and field goal puts you up by 9 points, and they can only get 8 maximum with a touchdown, 2-point conversion, and win by 1. That's why I question that call.
We'll have the rebuttal from Steve Brown in a minute. Coming out from the other side, the quarterback, Matt Jones. Left to right comes the West, trailing 20-14. It is third down and 4. Very big play coming up. Jones surveys the defense. 3 down linemen, the 2 outside linebackers, and 2 linebackers filling up the middle, and I don't think Jones likes what he saw.
No, I can't hear the band playing over there. I think he pointed to the band and said, my wide receivers can't hear my snap signal. I believe that's what he stopped for.
I think he also looked down at the defense and said, well, wait a minute. What do you think?
They're telling the band to quit right now. You're right, Money. He called it because the band was playing too loud, and they are very loud because they're on the fly into the field, and what would it be like down there?
I don't know, but they're certainly improved, aren't they? Dwayne Weston doing a good job with the COS band this year. These guys thought they were with Stanford University when they came out on the field. 5:03 to go in the game. The East is leading the West 20-14. 17th annual Illinois Kings County All-Star game. Big play. Third down and 4 from the 11-yard line. Jones looking to throw. He will throw incomplete. It was intended for Alan Flores, the flanker out of Hanford. Defensively, Ken Davis supported those there. He came pretty close to coming up with that one and bring him 4th down.
He had a man wide open down the left sideline that time, number 7. I don't know how open you can get, but he was definitely open at Jim Dodds.
Yep. Dodds out of Florida Union will head back to the huddle, and now the West will be forced to punt. Wayne Ross is the punter out of Florida Union. He's going to be standing 2-3 yards deep in the end zone. Deep to return. For the East, standing at the West 47-yard line is Todd Johnson, who caught a big 2-point conversion tonight, and Lance Jimenez is standing at the 45. The kick is away from the wing left, and that is a homer. It'll send Johnson fading back. It's the 40. He'll pick it up at the 32. He's back up to the 40. Tries to get up the far sideline and hurdles over one tackler, Jim Dodds, to the 47, maybe the 48, and a pass spot. The East will have it with 4:39 to go in the game, and the East leading 20-14. Let's go downstairs now to Steve Brown. Steve, you've got a lot of time left on the clock.
I've got to get back to what Jimmy was talking about earlier. I think he was right. I don't think I would have thrown the slant in. But one of the reasons I think Coach Robinson elected him is the defensive line from the West has been slanting hard. They've been submarining, and all of a sudden you got a defensive tackle standing up and knocking a pass down when he's supposed to be submarine. So maybe that was a great individual lead and great individual effort. I'm not sure, but he had the inside route. If the tackle doesn't knock the ball down, they got 6 points. But the quarterback sneak out probably would have gone too also.
Later was a punt of 67 yards in the air. The East on first down and 10. Jimenez handles it, fumbles the football, and the West is going to recover. I'd say unless they blow it bad, we'll have to wait and see. And I think they might have blown it dead. Jimenez was the blocker, and he went down at the 48, and the West thinks he had the football. And I'll tell you, the fellow from the West last who thought that he had come up with it was Robert Gleason from Tulare Western, but it is ball dead at the 49-yard line, just shy of the 49, and the East, after a gain of a couple, plus maybe a half yard on the fumble, will have it second down and 8. That's a very big break for the East.
Incredible. COS band has just chosen this fourth quarter to go for rehearsal, it seems like. They're playing all the time.
Over there, Hatchmark, 49, the East with the ball in its own territory. Right to left across the radio dial, inside handoff to Steve Sant, who has a 70-yard touchdown pass reception tonight, and they will come up about 69 yards short of that mark, and it's at the 50-yard line, and just over the 50 into West territory. 350, Monty, is not much time to work with in the West now. Must hurry up and get that ball back.
They ran against the clock, to end the first half, and eventually scored a touchdown, and they're going to try to get that thing back there right now. There's a big play coming up for this one.
All right, Steve Brown, what is it?
JQ, we got an 82 Cool. It's a Cool out to the right side.
And Donka comes out at quarterback. That's his backs. Strolling right. Drops the ball. Rolls right. Sets up. Gets a good block from Lamb. Throws over the middle. Johnson. Is it Johnson? I think it is. He caught it at the 36-yard line. Yep. Todd Johnson, the wide receiver on the far side, and up for a first down. So, from the 49-yard line all the way down to the 35, a gain of 14, first down and 10, and Jim Critchlow on the far sideline. That's a big first down for the East.
It sure was, and Johnson just proven that he can go in the middle and catch, and Mike is going and he's team over there. You guys have got to start reacting to the ball. The defense has been out on the field so much this second half to follow the ones who are getting tired. The offense of the East looks like they're ready to go.
Mendonca, 6 completions and 12 pass attempts tonight for 125 yards. Visalia Lumber bringing this one to you. And there's a handoff from Mendonca. The reverse goes to, I think, Lance Jimenez, and he is inside the 35 down to the 31-yard line. So a gain of a couple, and the clock shows 2:49 to go in the ball game, and the clock is rolling. Steve Brown, you're downstairs. You got to be happy if you're an East player, coach, or fan.
Well, Terry just asked me if we pick a player of the game, does he get a new car? And I'll have to talk to the boss.
Tell him they're not old enough to drive it yet.
How about the Patriot Cadillac?
Well, these guys have really played a ball game. They've come back here in the second half, and they've been doing some things right. They've got a few breaks, but I think mostly they've made a few things happen for themselves.
Jeff Bavaria, who's just walking to your right, Steve, has had a pretty tiring game out there blocking. Done a good job.
Listen, we don't even give away a car in the USA Network game of the week.
2:14 left to go in the game. 2014, the East looking for its first win since 81. Mendonca drops play action fake. He'll roll. He's going to get some pressure. He throws it up. Johnson, is he going to catch it? No! He bobbled it. The defender had his hands on it as well, and it dropped incomplete. Gabriel Vasquez also had a chance, but it falls incomplete. Robinson, you're downstairs.
Robinson was trying to call timeout out there.
They're not.
Robinson was trying to call timeout out there, I believe, before the play.
That's right. They're in the wrong formation. Coach Robinson's trying to get the hook on him before they get that play run.
They're down in 5. That's what they've deleted. 2:02 to go here in the ball game. East leading 20-14. Out of the huddle comes Mendonca and the blue-clad East squad led by Leo Robinson, who is doing a little parking on the sideline. Backs are strong left. Sam is one of the running backs, so is Kurt Thompson. Thompson in the fullback spot. Here's Mendonca to throw. He looks for Banuelos. He caught it and then it had it flipped away by Gabriel Vasquez at the 21-yard line. Gabe Vasquez, 2 excellent plays, young man out of Newman. And he hasn't decided which school he is going to attend, but now we've got a 4th and 5. Jim Critchlow on the far side for the West will be absolutely a thing.
Let's find out, can Sam kick the ball that far, and what's the wind like down there right now?
Well, we can look at the flag, Money. There isn't much of the wind at all, but we're going to try to go for 3. We're going to try to kick the field goal.
Up here, there's a little wind up here getting strong.
Well, Rodriguez will come in, and he was kicking field goals of about 40 yards out. The ball is spotted at the 31-yard line.
If we go for 3, there's a little bit of...
They're looking at about a 48-yarder, 47-yarder. Okay, Rodriguez will try from the far hash mark. He's kicking right to left. And he's a left-footed kicker. Now, Todd Johnson will hold, and they say, hey, we better put the tee back a little farther. They put it just short of the 40-yard line. This would make a 49-yard field goal. Bad snap. Rodriguez with the kick on the way, and it is going to come up short and to the right. And we've also got a penalty marker down at the 33-yard line. Fritz, did you see what that was?
The interior line of the West jumped early. It's offside, and it may be a first down, and if it is, that should just about do the ball game.
1:51 to go. It was a 4th and 5 play, and Fritz, you're right. We'll have to go over there and line up and get an observation from me if you think that's going to be close. No.
That's very strange. Very strange, because this side over here, Bobby, I'm telling you, 3 or 4 guys jumped across that lane. That's encroachment. Where the other people move around.
Well, now, there you go. That's a big play with 1:51 left. And as you were giving the observation downstairs, you thought that it was the other way. But they say no, illegal procedure against the East, and now the West with 1:51 left to go, and his record-setting quarterback, Matt Jones, ready to go to work. Let's go to Steve Brown quickly. Well, I think the whoever wants a timeout.
Robinson's calling a timeout. They've got a question with the officials right here on what should be done with that ball.
Well, now the ball is at the 31-yard line. Okay, now that's the initial spot.
Outside on this side, they're not proceeding almost on the back. They never snapped the ball. The man that called the penalties said there was not enough men on the line and too many men in the backfield. That was okay, but that's our fault. How about those? Yeah, we did not see anybody else. No, it's ridiculous. You know, we did not see anybody else. You know, it's not for center in the backfield. So he did not see anybody else. Okay, at least the field goal will go on for the other one. Also, this is part of the switch. On the side of it. That's it,
Gene Simmons, the left wing.
That's not right. That's Leo Robinson voice you're hearing right there. That's definitely some insides. I'll tell you what, that's a little restraint for Leo to keep it clean.
What about, okay, what's going on? Jim Critchlow, you're downstairs.
I just wanted to check and make sure that that's what I thought we were going to have a conference, John. There was 6 men on the line of scrimmage, 5 in the backfield. That was the original call before there was any offside movement at all. So it was, the call was, the thing was being dead, which to me seems that there should have been a 5-yard penalty marked off, and then it would have been fought down over.
Well, now, that would be the logical choice, but the West was acting as if they were getting the football right away.
Well, which they are. But,
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying.
it's a field goal.
It seemed like it was a dead ball foul. The penalty was called before the play even started.
All right, we've got 1:51 to go on the game. Confusion. Range is still those downstairs. Jim, or Gene Simmons is out there talking with the umpire, Charlie Guerrero, and they are meeting at the 31-yard line. That is where the ball is spotted, and it was also the initial line of scrimmage on the 4th and 5 play.
Well, I've got to wait and see what happens here. I'm just going to watch this one there. A lot of people, now Norm Warren looks as if he's going to go in there and get on it. He's had his ears chomped on a little bit by Leo Robinson. This fall game is being brought to you in part tonight by Nichols Payless Markets of Woodlake, Farmersville, and Exeter. And it's turned in to be the best All-Star game I think we've ever had on our 6 years of broadcasting this ball game.
Now, correct, it would seem to me, if you're listening downstairs, on a missed field goal and a penalty, they would have the right to refuse it unless it was called before the play and take the ball. Go ahead, Critch.
Okay, they declined the penalty, but still there was enough to set in the end zone. In the end zone, so if you join high school rules, again, every time the ball is kicked into the end zone, it is automatic dead ball. So since it comes back to the 20, I'd still like to find out if there was not a dead ball foul to start, but that's immaterial. Now, the West has 80 yards to go and a minute 51 to do it in.
Leo Robinson got that one by yelling at the officials long enough and finally getting the Norm Warren on the sideline.
What about it, Steve?
Coach Robinson's point was, if okay, fine, we can refuse the penalty, but they get the ball in the 20, not where they kicked it from, and I guess he was.
Fasten your seatbelt for the final 1:51. We are now getting an explanation of the penalty downstairs from the public address announcer. We've already had it for you here on PIW Citadel on a lovely Saturday night, 17th annual Troy Kings County All-Star Game. All right, the West with the football. Matt Jones already owns the Troy Kings passing record tonight. Most completions. Gets very heavy pressure, slips down, and he is touchdown at the 8-yard line. And it was Adam Bryant. Coming out of his outside linebacker position, the young man from Mount Whitney High School on his way to COS. Very heavy outside pressure, Steve Brown, and he finally forced Jones down. The 1:32 left to go in the game, and the clock is moving. We're inside 1:30. Jones turns around and talks to his long running back, Leon Shaver. Also a big touch with timeouts with Gene Simmons. Jones drops the throw from his 8. Sets up. He throws the ball at Boys, and he makes a catch that is a sparkling catch, diving and keeping his feet in bounds at the 16-yard line. The young man out of Hanford.
And stopping the clock, which is a big thing, John. A minute and 15 seconds to go. The prevent defense is pretty far. Jim Critchlow on the far side.
thinks, the defensive linebacking core, the outside people from the East have played a support game. It doesn't matter who's in there. They seem to be in that backfield and knocking people down all night long. The prevent defense can go into a game very early. Now, they're back about 15 yards. They had to tighten it up just in shape. We still have quite a bit of time left here.
The East has had touchdown passes of 70 and 48, and now Jones comes out 3rd and 14 from the 16-yard line. Drops to throw. Quick looking pass incomplete. Intended for Dodge at Tulare Union. He tried a little slant route and underneath Jesus Paneros. The pass was a little too long, and it looked like Dodge as it brings up 4th down. May have been a little delayed coming off the line, Jim Critchlow.
It was, and not only that, the defense got their hands up. John, I'm going to run out here into the booth, Coach Mike Henson, and see what we can find out what's going to happen here.
All right, why don't we send it back to the station, get a quick rail, and keep it here.
Sounds like you're lucky blocking me. All right, they're going all the way to the huddle. Jim Critchlow's got a microphone off. He ran along with the coach. This might be the first time in the history of football broadcasting that we've had one announcer in the offensive huddle and one announcer in the defensive huddle. Steve's on his way out to the defensive huddle right now. We'll get what they both have to say. Okay. Look how far we need from 4th down. 14 yards. Let's make it happen. This is it. That's the offensive coach saying we need 14 yards to be down. What did the defensive coach say? And he told the guys, this is 4th down, this is the ball game. Whoever makes this big play is going to buy him a cold one.
Of which variety, Steve?
7 up. It's going to be a 7 up.
4th and 14 for the 16. 1:12 to go. East leading 20-14. West flying tirelessly to get back in it. Here's a pass, and it's going to be a pass and a pitch. Dodge caught it. He tried to flip it down the horn. There's a fumble, and the East will take over at the West 19-yard line. They got a little play flicker, and the pass went out to Dodge. He looked for the pitch to Alvin Horn, and down he goes. The East takes over with 1:04 to go.
Yeah, it looked to me like Jones coming out of away from the center that time really didn't handle the ball all that cleanly and didn't get the kind of grip on it and throw it to timing guys like he wanted. They were a little going to a little play flicker right in front of Jim Critchlow, right, Jim? There's a mini 6 play flicker, and they had it set up. And the only thing is, Guy Belangi got out here between the receiver and the intended pitch man, and when the pitch came, there was Belangi right in the middle of things, and the ball hit him and fell behind the scenes to the ground. The East recovered and actually just about did it. Belangi's in the middle of a lot of stuff tonight.
You know what's interesting? I asked about Belangi early in the game tonight over the East locker room. They said, don't know if he's going to be here. He's here. He's here, all right. All right, 40 seconds left to go in the game. Mendoza will hand off to Reyes Jimenez, and he's inside the 20 and down to the 15-yard line, and I think they'll just let this one roll on out. We're inside 30 seconds to go in the game. 17th annual Illinois Kings County All-Star Game. Steve Brown, you were right. I've got to hand it to you. They did a lot of things on the East squad, and they mixed it up, and that's the difference. A 70-yard and a 48-yard TD pass. That's something.
I tell you, John, it's one of those situations when you come into a ball game, if you just went by the statistics alone, you wouldn't even play the game. That's why we call it football. That's why we play the game.
And here's the countdown. 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's go to the East Battle now. Head on out to the field. Here's Steve Brown Oklahoma. A final score tonight. 17 down to the Illinois Kings County All-Stars game. Surprisingly, the East 20, the West 14. Steve Brown.
Coach Robinson, brilliant game. We call it a brilliant game. It's great. I appreciate that. And he's going to turn and get after a job. They played real well. They did. They took advantage of the breaks we were given to them, and they made it through that. Right. Thank you, Coach. We appreciate your cooperation. Good job.
Mike Henson is also alongside Steve. Now you can talk about it.
Had a lot of bad breaks.
We just couldn't hold on to the ball. I think we did everything we wanted to do.
Dominated the first half, totally. Just 2 fumbles and it hurt you real bad. And his team, the kids gave him a few breaks. And
we made some covers and just got beat on a few times. That's all it took.
Yeah, it was a great game, man. Really entertaining.
Thank you so much.
All right. Okay.
Let's stay downstairs. We want to also get a final word from Jim Critchlow and Steve Brown downstairs.
West came in knowing that they were physically more physical anyway, and they ready for us. Because you can sit there at the table and hold all the cards. That doesn't mean you can win the game, Jimmy. That's right. The good bluffers and the good poker players win. Tonight, Leo is a little bit better poker player.
Hey, Chris, right behind you is Kurt Thompson. He's going to go to COS and doesn't know if he's going to play football or not. Number 22 right there in front of you. You might just talk to Kurt Thompson. He made some key blocks in that ball game tonight.
He sure did. Hey, Kurt, going to COS, you going to try to play a little football over there?
I'm going to talk to the coach Monday and see what's going on.
Yeah, you came here the game playing well offensively. You did a super job on defense early in the game, but when you were in there, you threw some really super blocks. In fact, the one that set up the winning touchdown, you threw to give Chris just a little bit more time. Well, what I said about that. You really did. It was a great block over there, and you played a really super game.
Thank you.
We'll be right back here at Mineral Field Bowl in just 60 seconds. The final score, 20-14. The East pulls off an upset here at the Tulare, Kings County All-Star football game.
And these commercial words from Lonnie's Auto Parts and Nichols POS Markets. Glad to have them aboard.
All right, man, Jim.
That's where I was looking. Okay, great. You want to do the final rushing stats and all that? Only the top two, Shaver and Moore. You want Bruce? Only two they played in last year. Yeah, I'm Shaver. Matt Jones got... How many did Matt Jones complete here? Does it say? Oh, on this. Quinlan and Monty Moore, along with Steve Brown, Jim Crutchlow, Bruce Moore, Dennis Whitman back at Mineral King Bowl in Visalia. Tonight, the East beats the West 20-14 and move closer in the season series with the West having won 9 and the East having won 8 now. Jim Crutchlow and Steve Brown are standing downstairs, and I'm going to ask you, Quitz, to do me a favor, if you will. Standing over at the 40-yard line at about the center of the football field is Matt Jones, the quarterback of the West. He's a young man who set a new record tonight for most pass completions. He's also on his way to Oral Roberts University on a baseball scholarship. We'd like to chat with him before the night is over with, and hopefully you can angle on over there. Monty Moore, boy, you're going to be a tired guy tonight, too. Let's check the final stats. Okay, best I can read them right here. The East team rushed 17 times for a net 30 yards. The West rushed for 145 yards. Dennis Brown was pretty fun to football down here. Let me get over to talk to somebody. That crowd now, we're getting it from Chip Critchlow microphone. And the passing, Rodriguez threw 11 times, completed 6 for 198 yards. He threw some bombs out there tonight. Mengonka came in, completed 6 out of 14 for 125 yards. So those two guys together passed for 323 yards in this football game, and that means a total of 353 yards total out there. Jim Critchlow's got his man down there on the field. Let's see.
Well, he is coming very, very close, and he's going to be turning his microphone on very shortly. Quitz, can you hear me down there? Now we're getting either the Visalia Police Department is calling, or we're going to visit with Matt Jones. Let's go down to the redhead Jim Quitz.
Okay, we're going to try and visit with Matt Jones. Hopefully it's not the police. I'm sure you're not aware, but you said of Tulare Kings conditions this evening, and they should also be James. Anyways, it's going to be tough to talk when you beat your heart out and lost, and the individual record drops. Maybe a catcher back to Roy Roberts, is that right? What you can say, he's had a super year, he's had a 10-point quarterback, and he's hard on him, he's tired, he's depressed, and I don't want to go with that.
He's not planning on becoming a radio announcer in school, I believe. I think that's for sure.
He become an evangelist.
He completed 16 out of 24 tonight for 206 yards. So the total offense at the end of the game was within 2 yards. The East 353, the West 351. Penalties 3 for 35 for the East, 5 for 65 for the West. And turnovers, 2 interceptions against the East, and 5 fumbles turned over for the West. That was the difference in the football game.
Let us also mention that record set tonight by Matt Jones, Mark Parmentier of Wood Lake set before the West back in 1975, and Well, that pretty much tells you the story. We're still getting in. Sounds like Dr. Spark is beaming down on us here. The Mayo King Ball Room. Let's recap
That's John. That's pretty much the story of this ball game. We've been out here long enough, I think.
Let's recap the scoring real quick for folks who are interested. And at the 2:48 mark of the first quarter, Jesus Panuelos got a 48-yard touchdown pass from Ruben Rodriguez of Woodlake. The extra point attempt and the kick was wide to the left by Rodriguez, and the score 6-0. However, Jim Dodds came back to catch a 5-yard pass from Matt Jones with just 8 seconds left to go in quarter number 2. The extra point attempt was good, and it was 7-6 with the West leading. The West then jumped out to a 14-6 lead on a 5-yard run by Leon Shaver out of Tulare Union. Matt Laycock came up with the extra point, and it was 14-6 in the third. And still in the third, 14-12 was the score as a 70-yard pass play hook up went to Stevenson out of Golden West from Ruben Rodriguez. Rodriguez's second TD pass of the night. 2-point conversion failed, and it was 14-12. And then finally at the 10:50 mark in the fourth and final quarter, 58-yard pass from Chris Mendonca to Damian Turley, the tight end out of Woodlake. So a guy from Whitney found the Tiger, and it was a 2-point conversion catch by Johnson, and then Donka found him in the end zone, and that was our final score tonight. Todd Johnson. 2014, the East winning, and they have now moved to within one game. It is the West winning 9 and the East now winning 8. Monty, a final word from you.
That's it. Thanks for broadcasting tonight. We really appreciate the work down on the sideline of Jim Critchlow and Steve Brown, and up here in the booth, Bruce Moore, and of course Dennis Woodland for helping out here, and of course to John Quillen for what I thought was an excellent job of play-by-play broadcasting coming right out of the baseball season, which you'll go back into very shortly with the Visalia. When's your next broadcast?
19th of the month will be at Recreation Park. Salinas will be in town.
All right, that's it. And that's the story from over here and back in the studio.